SLC Speaker 2025-2026 Soapbox. So here we have 5 candidates, Ashwini, Navin, Yashwanth, Karthikaya and Aditya Raj. So some basic general guidelines for Soapbox for SLC Speaker. So first we'll have this presentation round. So the candidates will be presenting their vision or manifesto or whatever it is in a time limit of 5 minutes. Please adhere to the time limit. We'll stop you 1 minute before and we'll intimate you as well. Then after following the presentations, then we'll move on to cross questioning round, where each candidate will have 2 questions, 2 direct questions as well as 2 follow-ups. To answer a direct question, you have 2 minutes, and to answer a follow-up, you have 45 seconds. Okay. This also please adhere to the time limit. Then after cross questioning is done, we'll move on to the current speaker, the elected legislators, then the outgoing legislators, and then to the EC and SECC as well. Okay. So due to some medical reasons, Meenakshi won't be able to join us today, but she conveys the best regards and all the best to all of you. Yeah. So first, Ashwini came first, so she'll be presenting first.
Hello all, a very good evening to one and all present here. I, Ashwini K, a student, a 4th year undergraduate from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, am here to present myself for the position of SLC Speaker. Moving on to my vision is to uphold transparency, foster constructive dialogue, and empower legislators. And if you look at my manifesto, it is divided into 3 parts. The first one is ensuring efficiency and expanding outreach, and the last one is empowering legislators. Moving on to the first part, ensuring efficiency. Number 1, I want to create an SLC website, which will be a centralized digital platform for showcasing all the SLC's documents, which has committee reports, events, ongoing initiatives, minutes of the meetings, business bills, etc. And the second point is POR manual. So as of now, we don't have a structured, single updated POR document which outlines all the POR structure of IIT Madras. So this POR manual will be the one-stop solution for it. And the third initiative is revamping budget session. Already, as we all know, this year the budget session was introduced. Still, there was some scope for improvement for that, and as a part of it, I'll be implementing a standardized budget template and document the standing committee discussions to enhance the efficiency and to reduce the timing of the longer budget sessions. And the next thing is streamlining ratification process. So for the ratification process, I plan to involve standing committees in the initial phase, even before the announcement of results itself, in order to ensure accuracy and efficiency. And moving on to the second part of my manifesto, which is expanding outreach. Number 1 is creating a WhatsApp channel. So mostly nowadays we are getting, till all these days we have been getting only updates through mails. So if we create a WhatsApp channel, it will be more personal, plus it will be very easily accessible for everyone. And number 2 is the SLC yearbook. It will be an annual archive which documents the key milestones, achievements, events, and initiatives of SLC. And number 3 will be a video series which is called the Behind the Bill. So this series will be highlighting the working of SLC and what happens behind the scenes in SLC meetings, plus how agendas are formulated, how bills are proposed, everything and all. And the last thing is lecture series with women in politics. As we all know, the participation of women in our politics is very less. Participation, we have to improve it. So in order to inspire women leaders, in order to inspire women participation, we will be hosting a lecture series with women in politics. And the third part of my manifesto is empowering legislators. The first part is a mentorship program called Legislator Buddy, in which we will be allotting the alumni legislators to newly elected legislators so that they would foster the knowledge transfer, and which will be easy for the new legislators to adapt to the practicalities. And number 2 is High Tea with Icons. So this initiative is in collaboration with EML. So usually the guest speakers have high tea with the team members before their lectures. So in that high tea, we will be involving the SLC speaker along with the legislators so that they could get inspired by the speakers. And the next initiative is the visit to State Legislative Assembly. So this initiative is to provide exposure to the official legislative process for the legislators who were unable to make it to the parliament trip. And GSB will also be included in it. And the final part is the handbook for legislators. So as we all know, we have been getting fund days from our predecessor legislators, and it is difficult for us to document whatever we got to know from them orally. So this one will bridge the gap. And yeah, moving on to my credentials, I am the current Sharavati Hostel legislator. I am the chairperson of the Rules and Procedures Standing Committee, and I am the chairperson of the Nomination and Ratification Committee. I was the core of Disaster Management Committee, and I was the head of NOVA, head of Linguistics Club, and I also worked as a coordinator with Disaster Management Committee and coordinator with NOVA Sarang. So yeah, thank you so much. Make the right choice. A leader is the person who stands with that tribe irrespective of what happens. Thank you, and I will stand with you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Navin Kumar, a third-year undergraduate from the Department of Civil Engineering, here before you all for contesting for the position of SLC Speaker. These are my credentials. I am the current Saraswati's Hostel Legislator. I am the chairperson of Academic Affairs Standing Committee, and I am a member in NARC, and I am a super coordinator in MMCC team. I am a super coordinator in Institute's WebOps team. I was a coordinator in Sarang Spotlight. I was a coordinator in Shastra's Events Workshop. I have a twofold vision, that is to empower students through hands-on governance, policy making and community engagement, provide students with transparent, efficient and collaborative ecosystem, balancing accountability and empowerment to ensure every voice is heard and valued. There are the 3 parts in my manifesto. The first one is about Student Governance Lab, Model SLC. Model SLC is like it's a very similar event to MOON, that is Model United Nations, where students will be representing their electorate apart from their legislators. So this is to give them a hands-on experience of what legislatorship is like, and then to have a fresh perspective from the GSB. And I'm planning to have this event in the January-February time where the elections happen so that the aspiring legislators can be a part of it. Moving on to the next, SLC highlights. It is about delivering concise video summaries of SLC meetings. I mean, usually people are not very active in reading MOMs. To ensure that a lot of GSB people know about what is happening in SLC, this initiative will help a lot. Policy Connect with CTAP. CTAP is Center for Technology and Policies. It is a faculty-run organization in IIT Madras. So the idea behind having this organization is to bridge the gap between policy making and technology. So IIT Madras is very good in research and development and policy, and then technology. So the professors are trying to make sure of that this technology is helping policy making decisions. So the PPC club will be bridging the gap between this committee and the students so that the students will get prof projects and more exposure towards real life problems. The next one is UBA engagement. UBA is Unat Bharat Abhiyan. That is a government scheme where the higher education institutes are supposed to adopt 5 villages. And my idea is to send students from IIT Madras to those villages, and we'll have to attend Gram Sabha meetings where the problems of the villages will be discussed. And we'll be coming back to our campus and we'll be drafting policy solutions through which the village can be improved. And the same will be suggested to the village head, and if it's feasible, they'll be implementing it. So the students who are being a part of it will be given NSS credits. The next one is Public Policy Club case competition. So the idea is to conduct a case competition in collaboration with the case club. so that the students of IIT Madras find solutions to the problems faced by the students themselves. The next part of my manifesto is about elevating SLC. The first point is Legislative Policy Lab, where we provide a collaborative platform where legislators and the Public Policy Club engage in structured policy drafting, stakeholder engagement, and implementation via bills. So the idea is to provide some guidance and support where the legislators can freely come up and put up individual bills. SLC questionnaire sheet, we'll be sharing a Excel sheet to the legislators before the SLC meeting so that they can raise their queries before the SLC meeting and the secretaries will be answering it so that we can reduce some times in the SLC debates. The next one is SLC digitalization. We'll be having a website where we'll be having all the important documents related to the student governance so that legislators and GSB can access them whenever they want to. The next initiative is about Parliament Trip Pioneers, where we'll be turning the Parliament trip into a policy-driven learning experience with giving some awards and recognition for the best proposals. So the next one is about legacy and bonding, where I'll be conducting a SLC cultural night for the legislators, EC members, and SECC and T5E, where we'll be having a fun evening where we'll be gathering and having some open mic sessions, and probably we'll have some stand-up comedian performing there. The next point is about having the copy of a physical copy in a heritage center so that we can highlight key amendments that have happened so far in the Constitution. The final point in my manifesto is about bringing the alumni who were legislators before to the campus so that we can have an interactive space where our legislators and the previous legislators will have a knowledge sharing session, and it will be helpful for our legislators to have some more networking. So I would like to end my speech by saying that it's not just to speak for a change, let's lead it. With your support, I am ready to listen, stand, and act for a stronger and more inclusive SLC. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Karthikaya from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I am here to present myself for the position of Speaker, Student Legislative Council. So, I am here with the vision of having engaging and transparent legislative environment, work towards strengthening democracy and student governance, ensuring accountability in student governance. My manifesto is mainly divided into 4 parts. One is the legacy vault and legislative engagement and development, followed by communication and optimization, which is followed by transparency and accountability reforms. So here comes the first part, the legacy vault. So there is this thing, whenever a person is contesting for elections, a lot of us will be struggling to find new points and all. But there are a lot of good things which will be happening from the previous tenure, which we can continue. So that brings in the idea of the legacy vault. So there are 4 points: unfolding democracy, know your legislators, oath ceremony for legislators, and the budget sessions. So unfolding democracy is an addition to the parliament trip. So it's a trip to state legislative assembly. So why is this? Because to increase the participation of the legislator and they can understand what's happening in the state legislators, so they can consider those things and implement it here. And know your legislators. So I hope everyone here is following the SLC IIT Madras channel, where you will be seeing different posts on what all legislators did. So apart from that, I feel that it is important to capture the experiences of the legislators. So that is the small addition I want to have for the Know Your Legislator initiative. And oath ceremony for the legislators. So along with the oath ceremony, I would like to bring in the legislators from this tenure and previous tenure to share their experiences and their motivation and what kept them motivated throughout the tenure, so that you can start and build upon those things and we can work together for a better SLC. And budget sessions. So the main problem with the budget sessions during this tenure was the budgets were sent late and we couldn't, the standing committee couldn't analyze the budgets before the budget session. So to address this issue, I'll be proposing a proper structure so that all the budgets will be submitted on time. And you can check through that in my feasibility. And there comes legislative engagement and development. So it is very important to feel connected with the team and to have that particular bonding with the team. Otherwise, we don't have the motivation to work for the team. So to address these issues, I have these 4 points. So the legislative liberty, the legislative connect, legislative excellence, and the legislators' league. So legislators' liberty. So it is very important that every single legislator actively expresses their thoughts in SLC. So there will be different reasons why legislators might not be able to express their thoughts. So to address those issues, I am proposing to have voting through app-based voting so that every legislator can express their will clearly. And the legislative connect. It aims to bring all the hostel legislators, department legislators, and research legislators together for a meeting. And this helps us to identify the common problems those particular legislators are facing in their departments or hostels or their research fields. And we can also foster the development of spreading good. So let's say as a department legislator, I did something great. Then I could state that in these meetings. So the other department legislators can get motivated by those and improve that. The legislative excellence itself explains that. So we need to reward and recognize the legislators who are doing good work. And the legislator league aims to bring conduct and sports activities and other activities so that we can improve the team bonding in the SLC. Sure. And this communication and optimization part. I am proposing to have a semesterly newsletter and an SLC application and documenting committee discussions. So I am planning to document all the committee discussions so that we can avoid redundant questions in the SLC. And coming to the transparency and accountability part, I am proposing a new structure for FAC and I am planning to conduct town hall meetings. It's like an insti level GBM. And I am proposing to standardize all the rule books across all the spheres so that we can have a better understanding of all the spheres easily. Thank you. And my credentials are, I am the current Computer Science Department Legislator, Chairperson of General Affairs Standing Committee, and I chaired the Ad hoc Committee for IIR Secretary Derecognition, and I am the current Secretary of Computer Science Association, and I am Mathematics Club Contingent Lead, and also Programming Club Project Member. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I would really love to start by congratulating everyone for being elected as legislators. Today is truly a special day. I have imagined what it would be like to stand here, not just to pitch about me, but to represent voices, ideas, and action. And here I am, Yashwanth Kumar, a current third-year student pursuing undergraduate in the Department of Metallurgical and Material Science Engineering, contesting for the post of SLC speaker for the year 2025-26. My vision for the SLC is shaped by 3 key problems I have encountered over the past year. Students often don't know what we stand for or what the SLC does actually. Legislators lack the clarity to be as efficient and impactful as they could be. There is no proper bridge connecting the SLC and the student body. And to address this, my vision stands on 3 clear pillars. 1. Elevating SLC operations, engaging GSB in governance, empowering legislators. Coming to elevating SLC operations. From more transparent system to better communication pipeline, my goal is to streamline our processes so that student concerns are addressed faster, decisions are made smarter, and every action is accountable. Committee deliberation report. Through this, I aim to reduce redundancy, avoid repeated concerns, and lead to more informed SLC sessions. Know your secretary. With this, I aim to ensure that every executive council member are more accountable by letting GSB know what has been done and what is pending. GSB wish list. Through this, I aim to create a structured feedback using Insti space for both general suggestion and committee specific inputs. SLC archives. This initiative aims to create a centralized digital archive of all the past bills, all the reports of SLC. Campus Niti. This initiative aims to make policy making student-centric by inviting students to draft solutions through a campus-wide case competition. Coming to engaging GSB in governance. When students engage, policies become student-powered because governance should feel like it is happening with you, not without you. Coming to TEDx and student governance. This initiative brings inspiring voices to campus to speak on leadership, governance, and adaptive thinking. Coming to policy making workshop. I aim to provide hands-on training in policy analysis, drafting, and implementation through this expert-led workshop. Inforum. Through Inforum, I plan to host direct discussions between students and the policy makers. Policy podcast series. This initiative explores real policy changes through insightful conversations with officials like IAS or IPS. Campus Chronicles. Through this initiative, I aim to publish a regular governance digest in collaboration with DeFi. Keeping the GSB informed is the first step to keep them involved. Empowering legislators. When our legislators are strong, our governance becomes stronger because good governance starts with greater representatives. Coming to one of this initiative, which is ice-breaking session. Through this, I aim to build fellowship and trust among legislators. It creates a comfortable and cohesive space for effective teamwork throughout the year. Legislator Spotlight. This initiative aims to recognize and highlight legislators who actively contribute to the council functioning. Policy Companion. Through this, I plan to enable smarter debates and sharper policy making within SLC. Yeah. SLC Engage. This initiative takes SLC directly to the students through fun and interactive feedback stalls. Here are my credentials. I currently serve as SLC Head of Secretariat after having contributed as SLC Deputy Head of Secretariat. I am a part of Sarang team as a QMS manager. I have been actively involved with both C5 WebOps and MEDSA WebOps. I am also a committed member of the MMCC team. Thank you. Take an informed decision.
Can I start? So, good evening, everyone. So, what? It is often said leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in charge. So, this is the primary goal why I am here. So, talking about my vision is to empower students about their rights, who are the responsible person. Okay. So, my vision behind standing for the post of SLC speaker is like to. Yeah, is it fine now? Audio fine. He's saying it's not audible. Okay. Hello, am I audible now? So my vision behind standing for the speaker post is to empower students about their rights, duties, and their responsibilities. So the first thing in my vision is streamlining governance process to improve responsiveness. Second, foster open dialogue. Third, enable streamlined access to governance through various online platforms. So I have divided my manifesto in 4 baskets. First is transparency. So under transparency, I am having 2 initiatives, SLC websites and SLC bulletins. So under SLC website, I'll be having all the MOMs, Know Your Legislator, a dynamic POI chatter, and EC midterm reports. Second initiative is SLC bulletin. So it's kind of a newsletter which I am going to execute in collaboration with T5E, the 5th state. Second basket, it's accountability. So the first thing is town hall. So my main vision behind conducting town hall is to have a common ground where EC member and admin are accountable for their work which they are doing in NC. Second thing is project streamline. So my motto behind keeping this team is to strengthen student governance by identifying redundant teams and how we can optimize that particular team to reduce the budget and improve the overall student wellness. The third thing is EC review mechanism. So this is not something which I am presenting. It's kind of my basic duty to conduct this EC review mechanism. So it will come under my Sangam point, which I'll talk later. So the third basket is awareness. So I'm going to conduct one SLC orientation, which will be for all the GSB. The second thing is Freshers Guidebook. So during your that Freshie orientation session, you might be aware about that kit which you got, like the T-shirt and IT Madraska handbook. So what I'm going to bring here, we can have a Constitution handbook in that gift voucher itself, so that from the starting itself, we are making our people aware about what are their basic rights, who are the point of contact, and how where they can put their points if they are having any problems. The third thing is governance lab. So this is a week-long initiative which I am going to bring, where we will be discussing about all the policies which are currently being presented in Parliament. How can we draft that particular change in that particular policy, and how can we implement that particular policy inside IITM? So the fourth basket is policy. So Samagam is one of the initiatives where I am going to bring all the EC member on a common ground so that we can increase our bonding. Here with EC member, I am going to release one proper roadmap where EC member will be pitching about their initiative, what all initiative they are going to bring in a particular year, so that we can remove all the common initiative which different EC member are having. The second thing is student governance conclave. So this is kind of similar to Pan IIT, but on a much smaller scale. So we are going to contact all those institutions in Chennai or nearby Chennai who are following the same governance structure as of IITM, to foster what policies they are implementing in their college and how we can take their views and implement it here also for the student governance. The third point is Parliament delegation trip. So this thing, here I am going to collab with Chhat Sansad, an organization which already conduct student trips. They are conducting from the past few years. Like their main motto is to make sure like students in India are aware about how their constitution work, what policies are being currently presented in Parliament, and how government works. So with collaboration with Chhatra Sansad, I am also going to bring alumni fund for this particular trip. Okay, thank you so much. Here are my credentials. I am Janchak Valakananda Hostel. I am currently heading Nirman team. I am head of SASA Finance. I had done intern in Niti Aayog, and I was also delegate for HPII conference. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the cross questioning round. As I have told before, you have 2 direct questions and 2 follow-ups. So you have to choose 2 individuals to ask 2 direct questions as well as 2 follow-ups. Okay. Since Ashwini presented first, so you have the first opportunity.
So my first question is to Aditya Raj. I'll ask the question and follow up together. So, are you aware that the speaker is going to conduct a town hall meeting, which he has planned? And if yes, why did you propose it as an initiative?
Thank you for this particular question. I think you have gone through my feasibility report. So what type of town hall I am going to conduct in my tenure is completely different from what current speaker is going to conduct. I am going to bring all the deans also in that particular town hall meeting. So that's my motto of having this thing. So that we can have we can bring admin on a common ground so that they can be accountable for student questions, GSB questions. What was your follow-up? Yeah, I have talked about this initiative to Athav Joshi.
You wanna ask a follow-up? No. So then next is Navin.
Yeah, you did mention, however, just to clarify that I demarcated Insti Talks with the town hall meeting. Insti Talks is supposed to be something that is conducted with the admin, whereas town hall meeting is supposed to be conducted with the secretary. So Atul, the current GenSec, envisioned Insti Talks, wherein he'll be planning meet with director, which recently one concluded. More deans and all will coming. So that segment was taken by him. Secretary one was taken by me. He is planning to merge both. So that already exists, just to clarify.
Okay. Then Navin, your first question.
My first question will be to Aditya Raj. Good evening. So, in one of your initiatives, you have mentioned that identifying inactive teams and you will be restructuring them, right? So, in your feasibility report, you have mentioned that this will be spearheaded by a dedicated standing committee. Okay? And for such initiatives, aren't you supposed to constitute an ad hoc committee?
See, the point. See, about this redundant team point. So what, see, as of now, will be only having 34 legislator working under me. So what I'm proposing here, if we didn't got enough number of nominated legislator, then I'm going to assign a separate team under PPC itself who will be making report about all these redundant teams. So it's based on the availability of legislators. Like currently from 34 legislators, we can't pitch each and everything out. Like they'll be involved in standing committee. They are going to be involved in NARC also. So we can't put this thing also on them. So my point is, if we get enough number of legislator, I'll be making one standing committees. See, the thing is, this initiative I am going to put in such a way so that it can be continued in upcoming years also. Do you have any follow-up?
I'll ask. So, do you have any follow-up? Okay.
Okay. Okay, whatever it is, you are saying that you will be doing it via a standing committee. Even if you are doing it via a standing committee, which standing committee will you choose to give the work to?
So see, I'm going to make one new standing committee regarding this.
Again, what's the point we are discussing? Sorry. No. Yeah. So this is to inform people that we are going to constitute something similar to DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, which I also told you. So before my tenure ends, along with the other secretaries, we'll be constituting a committee to look into the redundancy team, and will be removing all those teams in this tenure. However, what he is planning is something which is more of a permanent nature, one thing. But I would like to tell that please keep in mind of the number of legislators. Already the standing committees are overburdened with the work they have. Yeah.
Okay. So, first question from Karthikaya.
My first question is to Aditya Raj. So there is this thing mentioned, Samagam, mentioned in your manifesto. Depending on my understanding, it states that it's a sponsored outing for all the EC members. So from where is the money coming from?
So see, about this Samagam, I have talked to our Dost, Dean of Student. So what I am going to do is to bring all the EC member on a common platform so that we can discuss about the initiative they are going to bring, and we can have a proper roadmap for a particular semester. So about this outing, about that team treats and all, already see, you know the importance of why different teams conduct outings and team treats to increase the bonding. So as of now, we are not having any common ground where it's kind of like where we are having a common ground where we can call ECs and all. We are having EC meets and all, but not each and every EC member is coming to those meets. So the major point of putting this team treat under this Samagam is to increase the bonding so that we can be on a common platform.
So you are yes, it's a so you are saying that EC you can incentivize EC members by a team treat and team T-shirt.
Not like an incentive for increasing the bonding. I'm will be doing this outing and all. It's not like kind of I am giving incentive because it's their primary job to do that particular thing. So giving incentive is not what I mean by this particular thing.
I'm very sorry to do this, but so we have something called monthly EC meetings. However, it hasn't been monthly, but we have met around 5 times, Akhil, I guess, and every meeting we all try to go out. We went out and we pay from our own pocket, and we go out for dinner, and we do bond over dinner, and we do make roadmap and all. So this year onwards we started this. This EC has taken that initiative. Next year also, next EC will be motivated to do the same. But yeah.
Okay, so you have any follow-up, Karthikaya? No? Okay. No, he has second follow-up as well. Okay, now we'll go to Yashwanth's first question.
So, okay, Karthikaya. So, in your transparency and accountability reform section, so you have mentioned reestablishing FAC. So, in the feasibility, you have mentioned, you will be preparing a rule book for the FAC. So, if you had spoken with the current FAC members who were selected during SLC 06, so you would have got to know they are making the rule book for FAC, and then they are talking with the dean students right now. So how do you think this initiative is different from that?
Before answering, guys, please do not use internet. So to ensure the Soapbox is free and fair for everybody, okay? Maybe you can collect their phones to keep it
good. So thanks for the question, Ashwin. I would be more than happy to answer that. So the proposal I am making, re-establishing FAC. So right now all the legislators, we spend a lot of time in the budget sessions optimizing them. So the thing is, we are not having a on-ground check for that. So I am proposing to have a team of students who will be going to large events, large-scale events, which can be decided based on the amount they are getting from the budget. And they will be verifying whether all the deliverables are present there or not.
So how do you ensure that like whatever your plans are not are aligned with the current rule book changes which current FAC members are making?
I am not very sure of the rule book which the current FAC members are making, but yeah, this is the proposal which I made to have an on-ground team.
Yeah, now we have Vyas' first question.
So, hi Navin. I gone through your manifesto. So there is one good point about policy solutions, right? So are these students really understanding the local issue, or are they just creating policy report to get NSS credit? Like, are they solving real communication gap, or just are they just going through like common issues and they are bringing it here?
I feel your question is very irrelevant about like interconnecting policy making and NSS credits. I'm not very clarified with what your question is.
So your manifesto tells one point, no policy solutions. So your manifesto state one point, policy solutions. Okay. So do you think students really understand the local issue? Local issues. So you are going to create this thing, no? Like based on the local issue, you are going to provide some like solution to that particular policy and all. So do you really think our students actually know like what problem they are facing, these rural people?
Okay, now I think you're talking about that UBA engagement, right? Okay, so the idea is that you'll take the students to the villages and they'll be made to attend Gram Sabha meetings. Okay, so then they'll be understanding what are the problems faced by the villages, because the problems will be discussed there. Okay, so by that I feel like they'll be understanding the problems and they'll come back and they'll draft policy solutions and they'll be recommending it to the village head.
Follow up?
And how and when you are going to conduct this particular thing? Because what I feel, you will be mostly engaged in your speaker work, and then you are conducting one more thing apart from this thing. You are going to different villages. You are attending different gram sabha panchayats and all. So is it kind of feasible? Like, I don't feel it's to be feasible.
So as a speaker, I may not be in ground, right? The initiative will be done by the PPC club. I've spoken to Kinshuk as well, and I think it's feasible, and he has given the feasibility also.
Okay, you take it.
Yes.
Just to note here that your implementation says that the UBA, which is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, if they have any opening, they will put it for the students. Then students can go. Don't you think that's that's a question? But I'm just saying that this is something that will already will take place. If they need students, they'll contact CDC, they'll contact Academic Affairs Secretary and make sure people they take it as an internship or something. So yeah.
Okay, your second question.
So my second question is to Karthikaya. About the SLC application, do you think it is really needed? And how do you think it will be so effective? Because like we have TCF, which is like instead of you can do something else, because what I feel is app will be something which will take up the storage and people may not actually use it. So what's your take on it and how are you planning to do that?
Okay, so is the question and follow-up both are included or? Okay, so your question is, do I really think SLC app is needed? Yes, I feel SLC app is needed. So your follow-up? Okay, so my take on the application is, it helps us to automate the process. So once the process is automated, it consumes less time. So yeah, SLC application is needed.
So second question from Navin.
Hi Karthikaya. Yes. Many of your manifesto points includes initiatives like Know Your Legislator, Oath Ceremony, budget sessions, and those things were conducted by our current speaker already. And there are like some initiatives that says about FAQ, town hall meetings, that will always comes under your roles and responsibilities. Okay. So as an aspiring speaker, don't you want to bring up new initiatives and expand the sphere?
Great question, Navin. So if you had gone through my manifesto, so yeah, the new initiatives which I am planning to bring includes engagement for our legislator. So I am planning to conduct sports for legislators. If you had gone through my feasibility, I am planning to have an ethnic SLC which improves the bonding in SLC. So yeah.
Yeah. So do you say that these are the only two initiatives you will be bringing up to the table newly?
I mean, I just mentioned two of them, but there are many of the initiatives which are there.
Yeah, you can ask your second question.
Okay. So my second question is to Navin, and it's great that you talked about initiatives. So I'd like to understand how is PPC case competition different from a Niti Riti which used to happen?
Yeah. So I'm very well aware of the fact that we have Niti Riti going on, and I've spoken to Kinshuk about it. So there's something which I'm trying to bring new to the table is, we'll be collecting problem statements from IIT Madras that the students are facing, and we'll be trying to solve those problems via this case competition. So whatever we are having currently in the Niti Riti, it's a common problem statement that is being given, and it's not like related to IIT Madras and all. So by doing this, like we are trying to make that like students themselves solve their own problems.
Great. So don't you think it is the responsibility of the legislators to identify the common problems and work together to solve them through SLC?
Definitely, it is. But again, like, there's a scope for other things also, right? As in, like, legislators also will do it. Apart from that, like, even the case competition will also help in identifying these proposals. And then, like, again, these proposals can be implemented in SLC also.
So second question from Yashwanth.
So, okay, hello Navin. So, in one of your manifesto points, so you have mentioned UB engagement. So, how is it completely different from I Will, what they are doing?
Thank you for asking this question. Like, I think it will clarify all the legislators sitting there. Okay. So I Will, what they'll do is, it is a volunteership based activity. They'll be going there and they'll be helping the villagers in their day-to-day activities and then conduct engagement activities. But what I'm trying to do here is bring up some initiatives, as in, like, we'll be suggesting policy changes to the villages.
Okay, so so policy changes for
The village.
okay. So how do you think it will give an impact on students?
They're getting some on-ground experience, right?
Okay, second question from Aditya.
So hi Yashwini, hello. So you have mentioned about high tea with icons, like you'll be having an exclusive high tea with EML guest lecturers. So from whom you have taken the feasibility and how you are going to execute this thing? Because those lecturers are kind of high profile people.
So yeah, thank you for asking this question. I did get feasibility from the EML core. What they said is, so usually before the lecture, the guest usually has a high tea with the EML team members, and the EML invites the people relevant to the speaker's sphere, like some domain, let's say, like if some dancer is coming, for example, I'm saying, they will invite choreo club people or someone like that. So they do invite people from governance and politics also. So I asked whether they have invited the speaker or legislators before for the high tea. They said no. So I asked whether it is possible for them to invite us so that it could motivate the legislators also. They said, yeah, it is feasible. So during that time, we will be able to take legislators over there and interact with the speaker.
So the thing is, wait. Okay, wait. And see, fine. So what are the parameters on basis of which you are going to decide which are like kind of more working legislator and all? Is there any parameter which you have set up? Yeah, same question. He has mentioned like he's going to bring this at high tea for some exceptional legislators. So what are the parameters on which you are going to
it will be attendance and how active they are in SLC, plus their preference also, because some legislators will be interested to interact with a particular speaker who will be more of their domain or their interest zone. So based on that, we will be taking the legislators.
Okay. So we are done with the questions, but Ashwini has 2 follow-ups, and then Yashwanth has 1 follow-up. You want to ask follow-ups to either of them regarding the previous questions? You have 2 follow-ups, no? Yashwanth? No. Okay. So that's with the cross-questioning. Now we'll move on to the EC, that is particularly the speaker. Will inform.
Hello. All right, so let's begin. Interesting to see your manifesto points. Perhaps more importantly, those manifesto points, it's a common thing. It's more sort of your duty, which you are supposed to do. So it's not an initiative, but it's an outlining of what you are supposed to do, and you will do it, right? Okay. So that being said, this is more relevant to the 4 of you, but Aditya, feel free to pitch in. What is the one thing that happened in this SLC which you critically engage with and have tried to, envision to change it, but you have not mentioned in your manifesto? One thing that happened in this SLC which you have critically engaged with which you have not mentioned in the manifesto, but would like to change it or modify it or, you know, implement it in a other way. Yeah. And I would also suggest you all to keep your phones on the table.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
So who want to go first? Okay, okay.
Can I start? So what I got from current HLs is like the amount of time which we are spending in budget discussion and all, we can try to change the structure of that particular thing. We can have a budget reviews meeting before that budget session itself. So as of now, most of the time went for discussing in budget itself. So this is the thing which I haven't mentioned in my manifesto, but if I become speaker, I'll try to reduce it out.
If I would have misunderstood you, but all you are saying is you'll conduct a budget review before budget session.
It will be among HLs, all the legislators itself.
Did we have budget review sessions before every budget session this year? So every budget session was preceded by a budget review in which voting did not happen, but only review happened and then voting was conducted online.
Okay, I was not aware about this.
No problem. But good point, yeah.
I think I pretty much mentioned everything which I wanted to do, and like almost inspiration for every point came from different incidents of this SLC.
Okay, on that note, okay, I'll pass it on to next panel. Just come back. No, yeah, Yashwanth, you want to go? I'll take it last. Oh.
A small problem which I found in this time's SLC is like we have been having a lot of discussions in the standing committee group. But again, once the chairperson approves the bill and it goes to the SLC's table, we still get the same redundant questions again and again, so that like the SLC meeting goes so long. So documenting whatever questions were asked to the secretary or to the ones who have proposed the bill and sharing it to the SLC before the SLC meeting would help a lot is what I feel.
But that's already in your manifesto, no? SLC committee documentation?
That's somewhat very different from what I'm saying now.
No, that's what you told, no? The redundancy should not come in the SLC. That's why.
No, redundancy is as in like sometimes legislators themselves, they'll be asking same questions in the SLC meeting itself. So to avoid that, like I'll be sharing an Excel sheet and like it will be there in the SLC group so that they can refer to what are the questions they have asked so far.
Okay, sorry if I would have misunderstood you, but you said that the...
I didn't include the standing committee documentation in that point.
All right, perfect. But as a chairperson, why didn't you share the MOM in the SLC group for the discussions that happened?
I would like to say that like there was no much involvement from the other people. Only it was me and the secretary who were very involved, and most of them sometimes happened in DMs also. So it was kind of unofficial.
So what if the same happens in your SLC?
I would like to say the chairpersons to have the discussions in the actual WhatsApp group that is official, and then like I'll highly motivate the other legislators also to participate.
So there are 9 standing committees, yes, with 9 chairpersons. All of them will be having their discussions on the SLC official group. And
not the official group, in the standing committee groups.
But that already happens, no?
No, what I'm saying is sometimes like whatever clarifications or something which I had to give, it was done directly with Lakshya, not in the standing committee group.
No, your point was whatever is being discussed within the standing committee is not reaching out the non-members of the standing committee. They are raising the same questions again in SLC. So to that, you will be circulating the MOM of that standing committee meeting, whatever happened. A review
not the meeting, probably like
yeah,
in text or whatever it is in the WhatsApp group that have been asked, that will be shared to the...
Why didn't you do it now?
Like I feel that I should have done that, and I'll be doing it, yes.
All right.
I also feel like I pretty much covered whatever I felt, critical about SLC in my manifesto. Maybe one thing I could say is like trying to increase the visibility of SLC Secretariat team, like giving importance to the teams like Public Policy Club and Secretariat also, because like Secretariat team, they weren't able to get quality applications for the events vertical. So due to which I think the burdening of the work was kind of heavy. That happened, I guess. Apart from that, in SLC particularly, I think I have pretty much covered whatever I felt.
So you are saying that the secretariat team was overburdened?
Yeah, I feel they kind of found it difficult to work.
Yeah, and then you are introducing new initiatives like POR manual, website, which will be an institute web, so leave that. But then SLC yearbook, then behind the bill, and other initiatives in which the participation from the secretariat would be there, even though ITM TV or Insti Web Ops will be doing it, but the secretariat will be involved. So then how is it not overburdening them again?
So we can, that's what I said, like I didn't include in my manifesto. So I will try to increase the visibility of SLC Secretariat team, plus like we'll try to get more people for the team and expand the team size.
Okay, how visibility helps in reducing overburden?
So firstly, I think due to less visibility only, like we get less applications in a way. So if we could increase the visibility and more people get to know about the team per se, maybe that would help to increase the number of applications we get, the exposure of the team. That.
My last question. You are going to recruit your secretariat team now. Okay. This year we did not do work in making our secretariat team visible. Sorry, Yashwanth. So considering that we have done very poor work in not making our secretariat team visible, so you are not going to get applicants. In your tenure, you will make a secretariat visible, so the next speaker will reap the benefit out of it. Now, coming back to the question, what is it that you are going to do to solve that overburdenedness? Because this visibility will not help to you, it will help to your successor.
Yeah, fine. So firstly, I won't say that the secretariat team didn't try to make it more visible. They did work a lot. I would agree on that. They did a lot of work and they did try to get visibility. That is there. So what I would do to increase visibility is like put some promotional videos in collaboration with other clubs, maybe if possible. And
in 1 month.
Yeah?
In 1 month. You need to recruit your team in 1 month.
Okay, so like during application before that, along with the, so when we release the application, along with that, we can make a promotional small video, which would be helpful. So that.
Yeah. So to answer this question, like which will also align to one of my vision for PPC Club. So I would really want, I would really don't want PPC to be doing events throughout the year. I would really want them to engage with the SLC and then suggest policy changes to the legislators.
Okay, so what you will be doing is, what you will be doing?
So yeah, so I'll suggest the PPC team to engage more with the SLC to help them in making policies and stuff.
How do you suggest that?
So like I'll ask them to do.
No, how, like engage means what?
So engagements, let's say there is some bill coming up. So and then like it has to be worked on further, like which might not be feasible. So I would ask the PPC Club team to come and help the legislators with the same.
So you will say that the PPC will act as a think tank for the legislators.
Not think tank, I would say, like they would be suggesting legislators with the policy changes which could be taken up for the betterment of the solving the problem statement.
All right, all the best. You don't have anything to say? Covered. Okay.
Athav, you have time till
I think
7:50.
You can move on to the next these people.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can come back to that as well in between. So we'll move on to the elected legislators now.
First of all the best to all of you. I'm Ayush, second year undergrad and elected legislator of MM. So my question will be from Navin. I have read the feasibility report of yours on the UBA. It states that the student teams will go to the villages, attend Gram Sabha, assess the local challenges, and then kind of provide tailored solution to the respective communities. What I feel that right now, the current GSP from which you will be forming the teams is not fully aware of what goes on in the rural areas, and also they are not aware of those problems. Then like how will they assess the challenges? And since it's a two-party involvement, like student teams and the Gram Sabha, you would have done some sort of ground research on the other party as well. So like, can you list out 2 or 3 problems which you think these student teams can solve in the rural areas?
Okay, so it's not about like identifying the problems which are already there. Okay, it's about you go there. Okay, and the village heads and the people will be discussing about it. Okay, and I think it's very self-explanatory and like it's easy to understand whatever the problem is. It's going to be very simple. Probably like they'll be having some water issues or something like that. So that is what it will be.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, the thing is, you said that you will not solve the problems that already exist. Like, I don't know what Gram Sabha solves, like, as I'm aware of that fact, like whatever my knowledge is concerned, Gram Sabha solves the daily life problems, day-to-day problems, what the problems that exist generally, whatever you have said. It doesn't solve a problem which hasn't existed at all. So like, I just wanted to ask, like, can you list out those 2 or 3 problems specifically? If you have done the ground research, like what can be those problems that we as college students or undergrads can solve?
Okay, I'm not very well aware of the potential problems that could raise up. Okay, so definitely there will be problems that will be existing and could have been solved in some other villages. Okay, so we can take up references from those villages and then we can like have policy making solutions and suggest it to the village head. Yes.
Hi, can I ask question to only one person or? Okay, so hi Navin, even I had the same kind of similar question regarding UB engagement point. Do you actually know how many, because you mentioned Gram Sabha, so how many Gram Sabha meetings happened? I mean, I'm not asking, I'm telling, I googled it. I'm assuming you are talking about Tamil Nadu for logistical purpose. So the dates are till now like 4 times in a year and 2 of them coincides with our NSEMs and quizzes. So how can you ensure that a student actually participates in all of those? And secondary that, how, like I'm asking your opinions, what do you think about a village, a Gram Sabha committee, members, whatever, how much open they are to someone else who is not from their rural area to come and intervene, I mean not exactly intervene, but take part with them. Like how do you think they'll be open to outsiders?
So first thing I would like to say here is, based on availability of the students, we'll be taking them. It's not like sometimes like they'll be having midsems, those people might not have quizzes and all. So based on availability, we'll be taking students. And the Gram Sabha meetings, like whatever I've heard personally, is like they are not very much organized. As in like sometimes the dates might be changed. It's not like that it happens during a fixed timing or something. Okay, that's one thing. And your second part of the question?
How often do you think the Gram Sabha people will
Okay.
for outside?
No. There won't be any involvement of our students in the discussion of those meetings. They'll be a listener. And they'll be getting the problem statements, that's all.
So I am Sanjay from Saraswati Hostel Legislator. So I have a general question to everyone. Currently you can see there is like only 3 or 4 research legislators. Like how, as being a speaker, how will you give awareness to the PG people so that they get more research legislators in the upcoming tenure? And what will be your efforts in increasing the number of legislators from 37 to 40 or 45 in the current interviews and those things, so that like efficient standing committees and ad hoc committees may be formed? So these 2 the major questions I want to ask. No, it is like a general question to everyone. Like for us being a speaker and next tenure, like what would be your vision is this?
Okay, I would like to go first. So to clarify one point here, it's not going to be the exact count, 37. Okay, it might increase because like there'll be nominations opened up. Okay, so like I would strongly feel that like there will be more legislators applying for this role.
More legislators applying. Like, how will you increase the number of people applying for interview? Being a legislator, for a common question to everyone.
And I think like the previous tenure also there was a PG orientation session, and I think like through such initiatives we can increase the number of legislators who are applying.
So yeah, I get your question. So what I would do is to recognize the work done by the legislator. So this tenure, obviously, we can't do anything because it's like upcoming, obviously, nominations are going to come. But in the next tenure, within that, maybe we could recognize the work done by the legislators, like invite alumni legislators and say what contribution they have done. And if we could recognize and, give proper visibility to the work they have done, maybe that might inspire other people to put for legislator also. Yeah.
So to answer this, I would like to highlight two of my initiatives. So which one of that is legislator spotlight. So which is like we write an article on the active legislators and then we can send it through Ismail as a SLC newsletter. And then second thing is where SLC engages with the GSB. So so through this initiative, so I think GSB members will be more engaged towards the legislators. And then so they'll be pretty much interested to put for legislator nomination from the next tenure onwards.
So I would like to talk to the legislators who are part of this tenure. So because there will be different perspectives. So we as a UG students have a different perspective on SLC, on the kind of work we do. And as PG students, they will have different perspective on what kind of work they want to do as part of a research legislator. So it is important to connect the current research legislators and take them to motivate the upcoming research legislators, because those two sections will have better understanding than a UG interacting with a PG. Yeah, I would like to do that.
So what I'll do, I'll first talk with the current RAS and I'll find a way so that we can conduct some kind of fund day session conducted by the past RLs which have done significant work in this student legislative council. So I'll kind of conduct some kind of fund day session so that we can aware the people about the importance of student legislative council and what impact they can have on student governance.
So when I was speaking to one of the RLs, I heard that they face a barrier because they have to get signature from their guide to take part in the election. So most of the guides, they won't agree for their person, like the PhD scholar, to take part in these activities. So sometimes they will, most of them may not, they will be like concentrate on research. So if something could be done about it, maybe like we could try to solve the problem. So they could also be involved. So yeah, research scholars have like a lot of problems like per se. So yeah, I think that we could try to solve that also if possible.
I have two observations to make here. The first question, it's not speaker's responsibility to ensure that legislators number increase. It is the electorate who thinks that they should be represented in the SLC, so they will nominate one or they will push somebody to get nominated or elected or whatsoever. And the second question for next year, I think it's not the question for them. It's the question for you people who will be contesting for speaker election next year. So you people have to ensure that your candidates are there everywhere so that the number goes up. So it is on them. It is on you. It's not their question. And and to Ashwini, so that particular point is non-negotiable. The guide's signature for contesting any position is non-negotiable. So that is something that cannot be waived off. But perhaps, do something for PG participation. But you people who will be contesting speaker election next year, you start from now, so that next year full 61 people are there. Okay, all right.
Well, first of all the best to everyone. Myself, Kedar from MSc, Department Legislator. My question is to everyone, but more towards Karthikaya. You guys are aware that currently FSC has only 2 GSB members. So, despite extending deadlines so far, there is so very less interest regarding FSC in GSB. How do you guys plan to tackle it? And also, Stack places so much limitations regarding showing the base towards FSC. So how do you guys plan to deal with it?
Hi, Kedar. So your first question is, even though there is a lot of extension in the deadline for FSC, so why are people not applying? So how I would like to plan to improve on that. So I would say I would like to connect with more people through the legislators so that we can bring in the awareness. So I would say it is the collective responsibility of the speaker as well as the legislators together to improve the visibility of FSC and the importance of FSC. So collaboration with legislators is definitely what I am looking for. And your second question is that Stack will place a lot of limitations on giving. Very true. So if you go through my feasibility and all, so as I mentioned, I propose to have a team which will go and check the major inventory that they are bringing in. So that does not require involvement of Stack. So for what all events this particular team should be invited is planned during the budget session depending on the budget of the event. So the team can go there and check the visibility. So it's like having one more level of a check on what all things, on the financial things which we are planning to do. I hope that answers the question.
Also, like one thing in your support that this time FSC was recruited, the recruitment for FSC was done very late. So that could have been a reason why GSB didn't participate in that extent.
Yeah.
Can I add? So like what are the criteria, eligibility criteria to be a part of FSC member, to apply for FSC? Like open.
So I think the basic criteria is to be not to be part of any other team because it brings in a bias towards the team. So I feel that is the basic criteria.
Okay, so Kedar, coming to your question, so like as Ayush others pointed out, so even I feel that like since FAC members are like recruited towards end of the tenure, so that might be the major reason. And then I would add up to your second question, so which is Stack gives some restriction to the bills to show the bills. So they don't give some restrictions, they don't even show the bills. One thing. So and then like to overcome that, so what we can do is we can get the financial report from all the secretaries. So to be submitted it in the SLC to the FAC. Yeah. And then adding on to your question, so all the other ratification criteria of tier 0 portion along with the criteria that they should not be part of any other teams or clubs of student bodies of IIT Madras.
Whatever they said were correct. I go on and agree with them. And yes.
See, the problem with FAC recruitment is you need 3/4 of the quorum to be present in SLC. So unless and until we are getting 3/4 of the quorum, it is not possible to proceed ahead with the motion itself. We wanted to recruit FAC long back, but considering there were other problems that we were engaged in, that is why FAC could not happen in the month of July or September. In November, I guess, or October, I think the forms were released. In December, the voting was supposed to happen, but the quorum was not met. That is why in January, when the quorum of 3/4 legislators were met, the FAC took place. So it's a structural issue. Moreover, this year, as the current FAC members, they told that they are making the rule book amendment. We'll see. A new constitutional amendment committee has also been constituted So we are also going to suggest some changes in the procedure to make FAC independent from the SLC itself. So FAC won't come under the purview of SLC, otherwise it defeats the purpose of their autonomy, right? So that we will be planning for that.
I just want to add up one more thing. Can I? Yes. So since I was a part of the ratification committee, okay, it's not that like we got only 2 applications. We got like more than 2 applications. I think like we got around 5 to 6 applications, isn't it? So it's not like the only 2 people who are there in the committee are the ones who have applied.
More people applied, but they did not show up for the voting. So it's a all structural issue. And I think as a legislator, you should be aware of that.
Then we can move to next question.
Hello everyone, I am Chirag, ED Department Legislator. I have a common question from Karthikaya and Ashwini. You both have mentioned a point regarding a trip to Tamil Nadu Assembly. While I see your feasibility report, there is only one point, one objective in Ashwini yours report, and there is some detail in Karthikaya yours. But I have one doubt that like what exactly this one-day trip will look like whom we will be interacting. We will be going to either attend some assembly session or we will be just interacting with the members or what?
So yeah, you will be attending the session proceeding. So the SECC has already went for a trip actually. So it is a visit to the proceeding. So like 20 minutes of the proceeding you can sit and observe. So that is what it looks like. And I didn't mention Tamil Nadu per se. It will be either Tamil Nadu or Pondicherry, where they will get to witness how the proceedings happen. So based on which we will be able to make it and which we will be able to conduct, we will plan that way.
Hi Chirag. So your question is what exactly are we planning in that particular trip? So yeah, coming to that, it depends on many things. So it depends on whether the proceedings are happening during that time or not, or it depends on the availability of the dignitaries. So depending on the timeline when we are planning to have the trip, accordingly we will take the initiatives in discussion with the PPC club.
Yeah, is it something like copying our idea? Okay, never mind. Next question. Okay, yeah, follow up. Okay.
Like you guys mentioned that you will be doing before, Karthik, you mentioned before parliament trip. So like you would be having some motivation or vision behind this point. So if it is like you will be interacting with assembly, then you should have the dates in mind, right? That when the assembly sessions will be happening during that time or something. And from Ashwini also, like you told that we'll be having 20-minute session for assembly. So do you have any date or timeline that when the session will be happening or we will be going?
So yeah, to answer your question, I did not mention we will be attending the sessions. The legislators will be made to talk to the dignitaries regarding different aspects to get the understanding how things work at a state level. So it need not be a session need not be happening. There can be, if the, let's say, ministers are present, we can go interact with them. I hope that clarifies.
So can you come again? Like do you have any dates for? Okay, so I did check the dates. Like during March there are proceedings. So like during March itself maybe we can go. And yeah, mainly it is for the parliament proceedings. Sorry, the legislative assembly proceedings. And if possible, like if we get to get the contacts of the ministers and if we get their schedule, we can do that also. But what I have proposed is mainly getting exposure to the proceedings.
Okay, next question.
Hi, I'm Bharat. I'm the DL of Chem department. So my question is to Ashwini. One of your points about a handbook for legislators. to help them get approvals and other things. Can you just roughly explain what exactly is going to be the content and how does this help a legislator?
Okay, fine. So usually you get fund days from your predecessor legislators and all the thing. And if you look at the constitution, you just have the responsibilities mentioned over there. So apart from that, a legislator deals with a lot of things. Let's take DLs. So if they want to implement something or introduce something, so where they have to go, HOD or like academic affairs secretary, or to whom they have to discuss. So interacting with all the legislators and like trying to get an idea about what they can do for which or whom they have to approach. If we could document it as a handbook, it will be useful for everyone also. And also the main motive is to not everyone gets the same quality of fund days, we can say. Like some might have given a rough idea, some might have just given an elaborate idea. So not every legislator will have the same level of understanding about the process. So if we could try and get like the exposure, like what the other legislators have gone through or how they solve the problem, or like to whom, from whom they got the approval. So if we could document it, it will be useful for everyone. So that is what that particular initiative is.
So this is a question to Yashwanth Kumar, bro. So generally, apart from others' manifesto, I see like you have more initiatives in the event side, like Secretariat team, PPC club included those things. Like for example, you have the TEDx speech, you have the podcast series, you also have newsletters and those things. Already you know that there is not much involvement from people, GSB to the Secretariat team. Like in a sense, there was not a head of Secretariat and there was not an event team. So how would you make sure you are not overwhelming towards the awareness of SLC and you make sure policies, those things happen properly?
So, okay, to answer this question, so there is something called events and outreach team under SLC Secretariat, and then there is similar vertical under the Public Policy Club also. So coming to my manifesto point, so there are two initiatives which I have particularly given to Public Policy Club and then two others to SLC Secretariat team. So they would be taking that. So I don't think so two more initiatives would be a burden to them.
My question is to Karthikaya. You have mentioned that if there's a delay in budget submission, you will be reducing the budget allocated percentage. How do you plan to do that exactly, since it's like very case-to-case basis, and why should a student club suffer for someone's impunctuality?
Thanks, Rahul, for asking the question. So, see, it's not someone else impunctuality a student club is suffering. All the, like the current complaint we are having from the EC is that they are asking the clubs to submit the budget, but these clubs are not submitting the budgets on time. Okay? So, and yeah, coming to the percentage, so I haven't given any solid percentage because as you mentioned, it strongly depends on the case to case. So we need to analyze and understand the situation of that particular thing to make those reductions. And yeah, it's not something which I, as a speaker or if I become the speaker, can take because it should be the understanding of all the legislators depending upon the situation, how they want to act upon that thing. I hope that clarifies.
So hello everyone. Thank you all that you all had come to me before for fun days, and it was really well appreciated. However, I have some questions from all of you. Firstly, again regarding the parliament trip, some things are not clear to me first of all. So Ashwini, when is the trip exactly going to happen according to you? Yes. After the parliament trip. After the parliament trip, then what is the need?
So yeah, that is what. So whoever has been a part of the parliament trip, they won't be allowed to take part in the state legislative assembly trip. So we will be asking the legislators who didn't get the opportunity to make it to the parliament trip, ask them to apply, and we will also include GSP. So that is the point of doing this legislative assembly trip.
But the purpose of the parliament trip is also that, okay, the limited people who did indeed go, who enjoyed those privileges, now come out there and spread it among the other people. So if that is the case, then this becomes just like a consolation prize which is just handed over. and that too at the very end of the tenure, when it is March, which is the only window for it, because before that the monsoon session happens in June, or before that there are just special sessions. So only March is the window where you can go, and that is something when either the tenure is ending or when the parliament trip has already happened. So I don't think the dates match with the session indeed. Coming to you, Karthikaya, if your vision is not for them to see the session, then what will the people do there?
So my main motto is twofold. So one is to get to understanding of things on a state level, so that when you go to a parliament trip, you can ask better questions based on this understanding. So how things work at a national level. So it need not be the session proceedings, because it depends on the understanding particular aspects of the state government. And one more thing is that as a part of this SLC, what I realized is that the bonding between the legislators improved much more during the parliament trip. So having a trip before the parliament session, and since it is accessible, more accessible, and most of the legislators can participate, it also helps in the bonding of the legislators, most of the legislators. So it serves two purposes.
Okay, just leaving the bonding part aside, the first part, whatever learnings are happening there or whatever interactions we are having there, who does that? Because in the normal parliament trip, first of all, usually it is done by a very particular organization called Pride, because that is their motive. They do studies on democracies across the world, not only ours, and they structure the session accordingly. And this time when we went, the same interactions or the same kind of guidance across the whole parliament corridor and all was given to us by the research wing of the vice president. So who will be providing that here?
I am not exactly aware of the internal details, so that's why I mentioned, I asked feasibility from you regarding this particular thing. So I would like to understand and know these details from you. Yeah.
Okay. Then moving on to the main parliament trip, Aditya, you mentioned Chhatra Sansad. So why do you need to collaborate with Chhatra Sansad in the first place? B, who is this Chhatra Sansad head who has given the feasibility?
Okay, so Chhatra Sansad is a kind of organization which is headed by Aditya. The current name is also Aditya. So what I'm going to do, see, it's kind of collab in terms of taking the details of all the high level people who are currently there in the government. See, the problem which I heard from people is we tried contacting different peoples, but the amount of reply which we got was not that much significant. So what I am proposing here, Chhatra Sansad will be giving a list of people with all their availability and all, because already they are doing this thing from the past 10 years. So they are having all the list of details and all, whom to contact and when we can contact, when in the sense when they are available and all. So the details beforehand only will get, and yeah, that's what is the main motto of that collab. And also they are conducting this thing from the past 10 years, no. So they are having this intercity car arrangement also, they can provide us at a minimal cost.
Okay, so just two questions on the basis of your answer. First, why are they doing this? Why are they being so helpful to us? B, even if we assume they're very charitable, very altruistic people, why at the end of the day it would be the scenario that we ourselves would be having an ownership or an onus of where we are going? Because one thing that comes from students organizing the thing is it is discussed beforehand with the speaker, with other people, and then deliberated upon specifically on which organizations you wanted to go. So if that is the case, if Chhatra Sansad does indeed help us, then there would also be some sort of takeover in terms of some places we'll just have to visit just in order to placate them, just in order to make sure their ego is not being hurt. So two things.
Okay, so first thing, what they are getting in return. So I told they are kind of NGO. So what he told, if we are collaborating with some organization like IIT Madras, it will boost their publicity also. Second thing about this thing, student participation in that. So what I mentioned here, we are going to get list of all these people and their availability. The final decision will be on our hand itself. We are not going to ask them to plan our trip. See, it's PPC club and speaker itself who is going to plan where we are going to do. It's them only who are going to decide, not the Chhatra Sansad.
Aditya, I have simple one follow-up on that. I'm very scared to ask, but still I'm asking. You know, Chhatra Sansad Internation Tour always comes to IIT Madras. Academic Affairs Secretary always, UG Placement Head always forwards the email, yes. They charge 48,000 for every trip from every student, yeah. His first question was, why would they be willing to do that? Because already they are getting publicized in IIT Madras. Okay. So what publicity additionally they will get?
Publicity in the sense ki we are kind of collabing with them, so they can directly put ki we have collab with IIT Madras and we have served IIT Madras ka students. So that's the main motto why they are going to do this thing. They are not going to charge any kind of money. If we are asking them to arrange our intercity transport and all, then only they are going to charge, and that also will be very much minimal.
So what charge? Sorry.
Charge, like if we are asking them to plan our transportation inside Delhi, so then this thing also they can do because they are having like contacts of some personnel like who are doing it from the last 10 years.
They already come to every IIT. They send this to every IIT. I'm pretty sure some or the other IIT students would be going over there.
So from that mail itself, I got their contact. I tried contacting them. They told ki in return what they are getting, they'll be mentioning IIT Madras ka name in their online platform on all the online platforms. Ki we have conducted some kind of trip in collab with IIT Madras, and then it will kind of boost up their publicity. Publicity in the sense ki if someone from other institution are checking this point, then publicize in the sense ki what I mean to do ki they can say ki we have planned this thing trip for IIT Madras people, so that other institution can also know ki they are doing such kind of things also, ki they can plan for other IITs or other institution also.
Just a clarification and then I'll wind up. So, it's not allowed. IIT Madras, in Board of Students, we have passed a sort of law. It's not a law, but that any organization, if we are collaborating with them, if we are signing an MOU with them, we have to ensure that they don't use IIT Madras's logo or IIT Madras's name, that they are doing it with them without prior permission from the administration. So did you talk to Dean students?
Yeah, Dean. I have taken feasibility from Dean, ACR office for this
Dean students.
Dost, yeah.
He said okay.
Yeah, he said okay.
He said he's fine with Internation Chhatra Sansad using IIT Madras logo on their website.
About logo, I didn't talk.
Okay.
Just finally, Yashwanth, please go last on this one. Nick, last on this one. This is just about expenditure, basically. I hope you all have went through like PPC's budget, and I would just ask like 2 essential elements that we'll have to ensure, just that in the expenditure.
So is it like 2 essential elements we have to ensure in the sense like budget?
That don't get cut or that are always there.
It's like whatever budget is there, that's there every time.
For the PPC you're asking. I think one thing is the parliament trip expenditure. Like, okay, specifically like not including travel costs, like which recently the legislators were asked to carry out.
That does not, okay, if you would have looked at the budget, then that does not come within the PPC budget. There is a PPC budget, there is an SLC budget for secretariat, and then there is separate budget, like specific.
Okay, if nobody has questions, then you.
So the budget part, like which won't be cut. Okay, from the PPC side. Okay, so one I would say Niti Riti, like which for which the event like which you conducted so through OnStop, and then other is Open Governance Summit. So like you did conduct an event, but I don't think like you have utilized the budget for the same. Yeah.
Things which actually like would require the budget to be utilized. So if we can conduct it without money, then that means that budget can be cut there. So other things that we put in the I send my expenditure sheet to you.
So maybe like other personal expense, team expenses of the PPC, like team tree, team T-shirt.
Okay, so for first one, it was basically supposed to be for Parliament trip only. We need for better contacts. We need contact finders. So that is essential. That is something we did not have this time, but we put it in the budget. We went through ahead without them, but that is something essential for us to conduct a very good Parliament trip. So if we have to be specific, that, and please like everyone please go.
No, like since you have mentioned no PPC specifically, and then
No,
like and then you have no mentioned that PPC budget, PPC team budget is different from what parliamentary budget.
You tell me where was the budget for all.
So yeah, so for PPC, so only this Niti Riti and then Open Governance Summit.
No. This was also included in the PPC budget.
No, but it was put under separate column Parliament trip budget, which you also agreed.
But which budget was it in? The Parliament trip budget or the PPC budget?
Okay, like in a case of speaking about who's conducting, so it's PPC, but no, like in the budget sheet, it's completely separate from the PPC.
No, it was there. No, it was there only. Okay.
You have clarification for that too. Okay, done. Elected legislators, any more questions? Yeah, we'll take one more.
Hi, my question is to Ashwini. I think I might be wrong, so I would ask speaker and SEC to maybe double check, but you didn't give feasibility for lecture series with women in politics. I mean, it's a good point, but how are you planning to conduct like inspirational lecture series featuring women? So will it be in collaboration with EML Spotlight, or your own secretary, which you feel is slightly overburdened, would do it?
It can be taken up by PPC, or even if EML is willing to do, maybe we can do that. I didn't specify feasibility because I thought of actually, depending on the circumstances at that point, which team would be able to take it and if we could conduct. So like that team can take it up. So I didn't mention feasibility for that.
Yeah.
So this question is specifically to Aditya. Like as you were not the part of SLC in the past tenure, like can you please explain the whole policy amendments, bills, or like important events that has happened in the SLC in last tenure, like so that we can make sure you are aware of previous tenure, you have followed the SLC meets.
So you want me to go through all the amendments?
There were many policies for making two of like cultural signification, and also COCAS split, and also like SECC split, and they are similar to this. Many policies were happening. Like, could you explain similar to that all which was sent, and what is like similar to that?
Okay, so one is like they you want just policy or the type of like agendas which has been passed. Okay, so this for okay, so I'm kind of not aware about the policies. Okay, even though I have gone through all the MOMs, but see, one thing I like which I saw for my hostel, they kind of change something in that rule and regulation like which we have to follow inside hostel. Am I right, Bhaiya? For this hostel this thing, rules and regulation, you modified, right? Not See. See. See, impeachment and this fines and all, you have modified, right, at the... Okay. Okay, you didn't... Yeah. It was not passed in SLC. Oh.
It was not through SLC.
Okay.
It is BUS work.
Okay.
Board of students did it, not SLC.
Okay. So apart from this, like, I'm kind of not aware, as of now, I am not aware of any such policies, like, no.
So that particular bill is under deliberation right now. Yeah. So even if you don't know, that's totally fine. That's not an issue. However, since the proposal was shared in the S-mail, if you are aware, go ahead. Otherwise, also it's fine because it's still under the deliberation. We have not yet framed it into an act. It's still in a bill position, in a drafting stage.
Okay, any more questions from elected legislators? We have 8 minutes more for you. No? Okay, then we'll move on to the outgoing legislators. Yeah, Razil.
Hello everyone, I'm Russell, current Kaveri legislator. As parliament trip was mentioned here, so as we had a parliament trip, we had a meeting with Lokpal, and in that our vision was to improve and restructure the FSC. So if you are considering that and making any trip like that, what would be your vision or the outcome expecting from that trip, and how will be this trip benefits to the GSB because you are using the GSB budget? So.
There has always been this question, like, why parliament trip, and it's been controversial always. So I would like to make sure that, like, we as IIT Madras we get something out of it, as in, like, we get inspired by seeing something in the parliament trip and we actually implement it in the campus. I have to think about it. Like, this is my vision.
The question is, like, what will you do in the parliament trip for your tenure? Like, what will you do?
So, I'll repeat. We went to Lokpal, India. I think only you were there and you were there.
I was also there.
You were also there. From people who will be voted upon. So, we went to Lokpal with a vision that we are going to Lokpal to understand that how Lokpal as an ombudsman to Indian governance can be replicated as FAC to the IITM student governance. You both will be very much clear. Before even talking to Lokpal, I announced this very clearly, right? So that was one idea, to bring back the idea of Lokpal to IITM campus, strengthening FAC. That was the vision. Now, since you all are going to conduct the parliament trip, please tell what will be your vision.
So my vision would be, currently there has been a lot of discussion regarding this IRD recognition and the different structural reforms we are planning to bring. So my motto would be to understand what are the limitations that actually Indian Parliament would have. So to talk to them and understand what all they can do and what all they cannot do. So this year there was a proposal made saying that what if all the DLs and RLs are given some budget for conducting department level events, and there has been reasoning why this should not be happening. So this kind of understanding like we can bring in. So let's say to what extent we can make constitutional changes, or what kind of the powers the parliament would have, so that we can have them here also.
So I would vision the parliamentary by not just like since we are from technical institute, so I would like to visit the technical organizations over IIT Delhi, over the Delhi as well. Yeah. So a visit to technical organizations as well, instead of more completely related to governance, since we are like technical institutions.
So yeah, my vision is also to get something out of the parliament trip. That is, wherever we visit, we have to try to replicate and implement in our campus. But I haven't much thought about where exactly we want to go and which places we'll be visiting. So what I think is, like, once the PPC is formed, like once the secretariat is formed, like after having proper dialogue with them, discussing with them, so whatever they feel, and getting everyone's perspective, after that we can decide on that. So that is what I feel.
So my basic vision will be to like give exposure to our GSB and legislator, like how things work at that level. And apart from it, we can also have a talk about like what changes they are making for implementing a particular policy and all. What are their thought process and all, so that if we can have a particular policy which we want to implement in IIT Madras, we can have a similar kind of thought structure and all. We can thought about that particular constraint which they face at that level, we can bring it to IITM also.
Can you just substantiate one example?
See, like recently they did that carbon zero like they framed this policy for making India carbon zero by 2070, right? So something related to this we can bring to IIT Madras also, like so that we can also have this thing, or like just taking example of this electricity which we are using. So as of now, we can have some policies such that by a particular year we'll be having like self-reliant on this solar panels itself. So something like that we can also have here.
Any more questions from the outgoing legislators? Yeah, please. I didn't get you.
Can I ask the follow-up, or should I?
No, we'll come to the newly elected. Yeah.
Newly elected? Or?
No, the outgoing legislators.
Hello everyone, I am very happy that 5 candidates stand for speaker, like our RS election. Like
yeah, we don't have much time. Please go ahead with your question.
My question to all. First, you have seen like for EC member and standing committee member chair and other member, some in our SLC, current SLC, they don't have good much bonding. That's why like budget things, all things didn't happen very well for some sphere. Okay, so if you will be speaker, how will we handle that kind of challenges? It will be very crucial thing. And second question, like in some cases, like it will take 3 and 4 months to pass the budget of a EC member. So how will you confirm that the budget will be passed properly, and so that whatever event activity plan, it will be happen in time?
Okay, so firstly, as a speaker, I'll mediate between the standing committee chairperson and the EC member so that they could get into good terms. So I'll try my best to make that happen so that they both work together, collaborate together for the betterment of the sphere. So that's what I will mediate between both of them, actually. It's like try to get them in terms, like speak along with them, sit with both of them, and get to know what exactly the problems are, what they are facing, and try to mediate with both of them, negotiation. So yeah, that's what I would.
3 and 4 months for budget to get passed. So it will take, like it makes problem to organize event activity. How will you ensure that it will be budget will pass on time?
So firstly, as a speaker, I'll push the EC members to submit the budget on time, because that is one of the major reasons. That is one of the major reasons of the budget getting delayed. So like as a speaker, like we will have bonding sessions with EC and all also, like wherever we go out. I will push friendly also, like in a friendly way, like asking them to send it on time, because like that will help the standing committee to take more time to deliberate on it.
Okay, good.
Plus,
but thing is that sometimes standing committee chair also don't cooperate for that.
yeah.
So how will you do that?
That's what I'm saying. I'll try to negotiate it. Like firstly, mediate, ask what both the people think, what problems exactly they have, and how to find a middle ground, so that like they both could work together, collaborate, and not just to make sure that the budget or the team suffers because of that. So that will be my approach.
Yeah. So from what I have observed, the problems between the chairperson or the secretary, okay, it is not personal. It's always been that like the chairperson is trying to do the job, and the EC secretaries, they obviously want the more budget. Okay. So we can try to make them and understand that like these are the constitutional duties that are supposed to be done by the chairperson, so that the EC will collaborate. Yeah. So coming to the second question which you have asked. So any teams that would require budget immediately, that could be passed in summer as well. I think like we did it this time. So the similar kind of thing could be done.
So coming to the first question, the relation between the EC member and standing committee chairperson. As of now, lot of discussions happen, and we'll try to. The chairperson tries to do his duty, and right now we are having budget overshooting, and we are trying to bring them into the limit. So in this SLC, Atha proposed a few things like having a percentage for each sphere. So we can start from there. So the standing committee chairperson can start with stating that these are the kind of percentages we are allotting to your sphere. So try to bring the budget down. So he'll clearly state that. And coming to the budget getting delayed by 3-4 months. So in my manifesto, and if you go through the feasibility, I have mentioned how the budget sessions, how will I ensure that the budgets are being produced on time. Because if EC submits budget on time, I feel at least for my standing committee, if whenever the EC submitted budget, we all went through it and we submitted it to the speaker once all the discussions are done. So I would say the major part is getting the budget is the reason behind the budgets getting delayed. And I introduced the penalty kind of thing, which naturally reflects on why we are having a penalty. Because if they are submitting the budget late, then the time they are having to conduct the events will be less. So it naturally decreases the amount of budget they need to be getting.
So I'm kind of satisfied with their answers. For the second thing, budget. So I'm having one point under me, that's Samagam thing. So my main motto of bringing EC on a common ground was to frame a roadmap, like what all initiative they are going to conduct in that particular years, that particular semester, so that we can like combine all the common initiative which they are having, so it will help us to reduce the amount of money which we are actually using from stack. So this for the second part, like that's what I am trying to convey to people. Like the Samagam is the I have taken feasibility from those. Those also want to do some kind of thing, so that we can have a roadmap of all the initiative which ECs are going to bring on a particular semester, so that we can collab all the common initiative in such a way that it will be impactful for GSB, and on the other hand will be saving some amount of money also by combining those initiatives.
So yeah, so even I have more or less same answer, but no, adding on to the second question. So there is we will make sure ki what the budgets are getting, we are getting the budget soon. Also, there is also another provision for the teams. If the event is like too soon and the budget session is like scheduled later, so even at any time we can put the budget to voting. So let's say example this tenure, like we did put vote for MMCC summer budget and then South immersion budget. Yeah.
Thank you for raising this issue because I really needed an opportunity to tell it on record, on camera. SLC has never delayed anyone's budget by 3 or 4 months. And this I'm very proud to say that in this SLC, no budgets were deferred to the next SLC meeting. As and when secretary submitted the budget, we, after reviewing it from standing committee, we immediately put it through online voting. We did not wait for SLC to be convened physically so that we can think as it used to happen in the previous tenures. So we made sure that the budgets are getting passed as soon as possible. We don't want to stop any money. So I completely condemn that statement that 3-4 months budget has been delayed. SLC never delayed any budget, and they all have beautifully answered that question. Very proud. If at all only EC cooperates and all the secretaries submit the budget on time, all the secretaries will get the budget passed within 3 days. And that is the current structure, and that is what has been happening with most of the teams.
No, we'll go to some other, then we'll come back to you if you have time.
My question is to Aditya. This is to give you a fair chance. So your fellow competitors vying for the same post all have 1 year of experience in the SLC. They are members of GSB with 1 year of experience in the SLC. So why should the upcoming legislators vote for you?
So I'll go with this with my credential which I am having as of now. See, as a Gencheck of Alaknanda Hostel, what I feel, I have got like enough exposure in admin side. What I feel, the speaker ka job is not only to conduct, not only to maintain decorum of SLC and maintain the legislature ka thing and all and pass budget. What I feel, it's speaker and EC ka job also to whatever things are getting passed in admin, they are also responsible to convey the same, convince in the sense, kind of convinced the admin also for that particular thing. So as a Gencheck, I have been to several meetings with admin and all. So this admin convincing thing, like I am having edge over other HL. And coming to second PM head, so I am currently heading more than 90 startups, like I am having more than 90 startups under me. So the team management kind of thing. See, as a speaker, I'll be having legislators and this 2 team, secretariat team and this public policy club. So I'm having a proper understanding of like how teams work and how can we get things done out of them. Coming to the third point, SASA finance. So in SASA, as a finance head, we have handled budget over 2 crores. So I'm kind of having understanding like how to optimize budget and what flaws we can get, like if someone is submitting the budget. Flaws in the sense kind of like what, like it's kind of unofficial term, like where they are trying to do scams. It's kind of unofficial term, but where they are, see, I'm kind of having experience in that. And third, Niti Aayog. I have done intern in Niti Aayog. So policy drafting and all. So I'm kind of experienced. And also this Harvard conference I have been to. So on a international level also, like I kept my points for international policies. So I think these are like, my credentials are quite enough to be eligible for the speaker post.
Your credentials are very good. I appreciate them. My question again is that please try to convince them, not me again. I won't be voting. They will be the ones voting. Please listen to them. So my point is, within the SLC, you need a lot of coordination, right? Navigating with the secretary, with the standing committees, with the legislators, recalcitrant people also among them. So you have no experience in that. So as someone who's voting for you, please try to convince them why they should vote for you, how you will navigate the everyday activities of the SLC, right? That is the only question.
See, yeah, that is one of the like setback I am having. Like I was not part of SLC team, which I will try to like, so from fun day I can kind of like, I'm not saying ki I'll take all this knowledge and all about the what happens in SLC and what is the kind of environment like we face during this thing bill passing or this budget representation and all. What I am saying, I'll make sure ki I'm taking proper fund days from the current speaker. He has done a great job. And talking about, see, as a GenSec, I was heading 380 peoples. I have kind of made policies for my hostel, which is like which you can't see in other hostel. So I have headed 380 people. I can head as a SLC speaker also. So these are my like kind of credential thing which I can put on table if I become a SLC speaker.
Okay. No, we'll move on to EC, then we'll come back. Yeah, current Executive Council.
Hi Yashwanth, my question is to you. So you have mentioned 2 points, one regarding your TEDx and one regarding policy podcast series. Don't you think these 2 initiatives are directly clashing with what EML does?
Okay.
What different are you doing?
So actually what EML does is they have a more broader idea of what events they conduct, what lecture series they conduct. But like coming to the TEDx, like it is more student governance based. So where we call the TEDx speakers and then we give motivational speech based on the student governance to motivate the students to contribute something to the student governance. And then coming to policy podcast series, so it is something where we call IAS or IPS officer or other officials to give more idea of what policy changes are happening in the outer world and then what could be done in the IIT Madras.
Where is the budget coming from?
So budget will come from STACT for these 2 events.
And my next question is to Karthikaya. You have mentioned one point regarding standardizing all the rule books. Can you explain a bit? How exactly will you standardize all the rule books?
Yeah.
So first, have you gone through all the rule books?
I have gone through, like I have seen most of the rule books because almost all the rule books came to rule book changes in this SLC. Okay. So yeah, and I would like to start with from where is this particular point coming from? Okay, so currently the AI thing happened and I realized that a lot of teams would have started with some vision and they would have evolved and they would have reached some other vision. So it is important to consider going through all the rule books and talking to the current EC members and the heads and thinking about like what are the vision for the particular sphere should be and how this team aligns with that particular vision.
That
and
is
we need
you changing the vision of the specific sphere. But how is that called standardizing?
Yeah, I am coming to that. Yeah. So this is the thought process behind it. So how these things needs to be done. Standardizing the rule books. So if we observe current rule books, for every position, there is this redundancy of mentioning the CGPA criteria, the DISCO criteria. We can extract it out and have it as a primary filter. So it reduces the length of the rule book. So it is easy to go through the rule books. And second thing is like we can have a clear structure on what are the things that this particular team's vision should be or how the team structure should be and so on. And we started doing that in this particular tenure and it has not been completed. So there are multiple reasons for that. So I would like to address all of those and I have clearly given a phase-wise analysis on how I'll be doing those things.
Yeah, just thank God you did mention that. So we did start something called rulebook review the moment I took over. However, that rulebook review was entrusted to all the standing committees, right? Now it was your responsibility, 3 standing committee chairpersons are sitting here, it was your responsibility to follow that. We even passed a law for standardizing the rule books. We did that, right? So you all are aware of that in SLC 02.1. Now my question is, why it didn't happen this year, and how is it your new idea that you are bringing?
So see, for SGS standing committee, like for the SGS sphere, we did the rulebook amendments and all according to the rules stated. And the new idea being as you mentioned, it's not completed, it's just initiated. So I am planning to take it to the completion.
It is your responsibility to get it completed.
That's what he's telling.
Yeah, I mean, if I am contesting for a position, it's my responsibility to fulfill all my responsibilities. Is it not?
Then why is SCS rulebook not amended?
It's amended.
So all the changes were made.
Yes.
Like how is it standardized then?
See, as I mentioned, there are few more things which I want to do. Currently in the SCS rulebook, every particular POR will have its CGPA criteria and the DISCO criteria. So we can extract it out, making it easier to navigate. That's what I am saying.
Okay, fine.
So you just finished that work.
Yeah, it's like taking it to the completion.
I hope you seriously do that.
Yeah.
Next, you had some follow-up, right?
Done.
No, easy.
We are done with the current EC or?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any question. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so my question is for all of you guys. So list down the 3 outcomes that we had, like from the parliament trip, which affected the GSB at a broad level. And the second part of the question is, why are we emphasizing on the parliament trip at the first place? Like, why can't we have sessions and have these discussion forums, maybe in a online format, or maybe we can bring down the speakers at the campus itself. Like, why it's the need to go and bring all the legislators and not all the legislators, but why we need to have a trip at the first place? Like, why can't we have solve this particular issue of knowledge transfer and bringing policy changes inside the institute by bringing speakers and having online discussion forums? Yeah.
So for your question, so I may not be able to list 3 outcomes because I was half part of the parliament trip this year, and the only outcome which I interacted with is with Lokpal. From that, I have taken the idea and I am planning to bring and re-establish the FAC. So that is the main idea which I taken from that. So that way, parliament trip influenced me, and I am planning to implement that if I become the speaker. Yeah. And coming to your question, so why is parliament trip necessary at the first place? So, and you have mentioned we can have online these things and all. So I would say, why are Zoom classes not being very effective? Obviously, online and offline will have a lot of difference. Okay. And the kind of interactions we can have, having an offline discussion and online discussion will be very different. Yeah. And one more thing
adding on to that, so I mentioned that we can bring down the speakers to IIT Madras campus as well, and we can have interactive sessions at campus as well.
Yeah,
which will bring down much more inclusivity, because right now at the parliamentary we are having some kind of cap. But if you are having a speaker at campus, then we can bring a lot more people who are interested in the policy making and framework. So that will bring much more GSB involvement, and much more ideation, and much more things can be implemented at the first place.
Great. So the thing is, let's say we are bringing the speakers, and I would like to emphasize on one more thing. So parliament trip is not necessarily we are only going to a particular place or something. So when you go there, you get to understand and go through different things that are happening in that particular institute. So let's say when we went to Supreme Court, we went through the library and all. So we got to understand everything. So that and all, you can't bring the entire Supreme Court library to IIT Madras. I hope that answers.
If there is something you never answer.
So okay, coming to outcomes, so I would really like to point out such this thing. So there were some few GSP members who were a part of delegation, and then it was really happy to see them put for legislator, and then they have elected. So I hope they bring something to the SLC in their tenure. And then coming to so same thing. So okay, yeah, fair. Say answered by Karthikaya. So you cannot have more exposure in the IIT Madras. So let's say we went to parliament, we had a 1-day trip inside the parliament. We saw all the premises of the parliament, so which you won't be able to get it in the IIT Madras. Yeah. Also, adding on to the bringing speakers to IIT Madras. So there is one of my manifesto points, so which I have included, so that other inclusivity of the other GSP members is also there. Yeah.
So see, for parliament trip, we are having a cap. You told cap. So those all people, what I feel, whoever is getting selected for that parliament trip are kind of very much interested in governance and all. So by this offline trip, we are also creating a platform where they can have a platform where they can start discussing about we can initiate, right? So they'll be having one platform where these all like-minded people can discuss about policies and all. So adding to them, it's like kind of what I feel ki they also instead of this thing, they also get a platform where they can discuss about IIT Madras ka governance and all, because all are like-minded people, right? So we can initiate this thing also. And also this offline experience is like offline experience, so we can't bring it in online mode.
Yeah, okay. So outcome-wise, from what I heard, like I was not a part of the parliament trip, from what I heard, they have also visited the World Bank office, plus the Noida Special Economic Zone or somewhere they have went. So what I believe is the people who were a part of the GSB who went to the parliament trip, and even the legislators, they discussed about sustainability, disaster management and all the other stuff. So those people, if they are really interested, obviously they'll come back, and we have sustainability committee and other places where they could go and actually implement or like bring some new perspectives to the teams and impact the GSB. And moving on, like why we have to go. So it is the capital city where like everything you can find over there. So once you will be able to get it experience physically. Plus another thing is only serious people get to go there. So let's say if you're bringing a speaker over here, there are more chances that the participation might be very low. We have witnessed that in many places, right? Like whenever we bring a speaker, sometimes it's very difficult to find participation. And with this, okay, so this participation problem is also there. So people who are like really very much interested and who actually wants to do something and contribute something, so they go through this rigorous application process, they sit for the interview and they prepare and they get to experience all this. So I feel like going to a parliament trip is justified rather than bringing it to institute.
Yeah, next question.
Yeah, just a clarification basically. So like if people are interested at the first place, they will be coming for the sessions as well. So yeah.
I'll talk to you after this thing. But perhaps the most important thing is going to Delhi gives us that upper hand in changing our itinerary on the go. When we met Honorable Minister of Commerce Shri Piyush Goyal ji, immediately we got an approval to go to Bharat Mandapam next day. If they are coming over here, we don't have any opportunity like this to go. Plus, since Delhi is the subcenter, epicenter of all the work that takes place in Indian governance, it is easier for us to meet most of the people over there at the same time frame. But bringing all of them together, matching that timeline and conducting all those things over here is a problematic thing. From them traveling from Delhi to here and then addressing us is an issue. That is why parliament trip is an exposure that is given to the students of IIT Madras, an exclusive exposure that is only possible because they are the students of IIT Madras. Baki to rest we'll talk.
Yeah, yes. So from the people who are, I didn't go to the parliament trip, I have to accept that. So, but I've spoken to few people who have went to the parliament trip few years back. Okay, so what they have mentioned is that in the SLC meetings, like back then, like we won't be having this time-based sessions. But after talking to those people, like whom they saw in the parliament trip, like they said like they implemented it after this. I could be wrong, like, but this is what I got from people. I mean, like, can you give me clarification? Okay.
Hi Navin, this question is to you. For your point of cultural night, you have mentioned in your feasibility report under the implementation section, stating that you'll call a stand-up comedians to perform. So you're telling me that with the money you're getting from students, you'll be conducting a special informal private show just for your team. Can you justify this? And moreover, I don't find any budget breakup for that event that you want to host in your feasibility report. Can you go about explaining this?
Okay. Bringing a stand-up comedian doesn't mean that we have to pay for him. Okay, I've worked in Spotlight, Sarang Spotlight, where we have brought in eminent personalities without any budget. So by better outreach, we can. I definitely believe that we can bring up people who are interested to perform here.
But how many people will attend Sarang Spotlight?
I mean, this could be done based on a
Too
volunteer
large
basis.
comparable to your team size.
Yeah.
And why will a speaker come to perform for 37 people, like comedian or?
See, it's not going to be that 37 people. It includes EC and other things. But I admit the fact that the audience is going to be very less. Okay. But again, like I'm not going to call a very big eminent personality. And I mean, like people who would like to express their talents, those kind of people could be called. Yes.
Any more questions from the elected legislators? No? Outgoing? Oh, okay. Okay, from elected DC, okay. Yeah. Okay,
Well,
one last question.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Well, that question is related to current RL position. Like I have seen as a RL of mechanical, hardly like 1 or 2 person will be there. Their attendance will be 1. Like they will attend only 1 or 2 SLC meeting. Okay, they will not attend all. I have seen like some legislator hardly attend like 1 or 2. So how will improve the participation in SLC? It is question to all.
See, I'll tell we are running out of time. Please don't add or anything. If there is genuinely something new you want to do, then only answer, okay?
Exactly. So this is the main reason why I am having the first section of my manifesto, because it particularly aims at a different avenues to bring all the research legislators, all the legislators in general together. Because I feel whenever you have the connect with the team, then only you will be willing to come to any meetings or something. So I want to address that particular issue. So in my tenure, if I become speaker, I would like to find different ways to incorporate all the legislators, having fun activities also as a part of, like we can have informal meets that kind of builds the bonding between the legislators, which motivates them to come to SLC meetings. Yeah.
So answering to the question, so like I would like to highlight the third vision point of mine, which is empowering legislators. There I have listed out first 2 initiatives, so which is ice-breaking sessions for legislators and then legislator spotlight. So through ice-breaking session, what we can do is like we can make the legislators more engage them. Okay. And then coming to legislator spotlight, so it's kind of incentivizing them through futuring them. So I feel that legislators will be more engaged, and then they'll be attending the SLC meet.
I think we have already answered it.
Okay. Any more questions? No? Yeah.
One situation question. If there is a budget session going on, means budget session is over and some budget got rejected, means absent, and there was a budget reviews, means there were reviews that need to be changed. And now you are now you have received the new budget by the EC, and now you are putting it for online voting. But the EC member has not done the changes in the budget. So will you pass the budget, put to the online voting, or you will just stall the budget or go to the next SLC and we will be discussing in an offline meeting?
So I think whenever we are going to present the budget for the next time, we need to ensure that all the contentions raised are to be resolved, then only we will put it to voting.
So similar thing. So standing committee can engage with the legislators. They can note down the changes which were suggested in the SLC meeting, and then they can suggest the same to the EC members, and then it can be put to online voting. Yeah.
There could be reasons why the budget got rejected. So, if the secretary is not willing to change the budget, then there's no point of putting it to vote again.
Okay, I have one question. So let's say you are involved in some of the case that SCCC had, and then SCCC gave some verdict or decision. So, but it's like you're not agreeing to that verdict. You feel something is missing or something is not true, or you won't agree. So, what are the avenues, or basically what will you do?
Coming to this, this is as per rules of procedures of SCCC. So I guess there are two provisions. So one is for reappealing for the case, and then second, no, like we can where the SEC takes up the case again, and then they investigate again, and then they find the other possibilities. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Others?
So yeah, so first one I'm sure like which is reappealing where like we genuinely where the where the candidate goes and reappeal, and then second one is something where SEC takes up and then they get more deep into it.
I think I agree.
I didn't get the second one. Takes up as in? SEC takes up as in?
So let's say they have missed some information, some minute checking which they would have done. So they could take that up, which is what I feel.
No? I have similar understanding. Okay, I think it's better you read up the ROP of SEC again. And one last question, is speaker part of IDCS?
Yes, currently yes, the speaker said.
Okay, so yeah, any more questions now? Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for the SLC speaker Soapbox 2025 and 2026. So now we'll have a 5 minutes break, and then at 8:45 we'll start the polling, and polling will be at the HSB 133. All the elected legislators are requested to carry their physical ID card. And I mean, you know how to vote and all. So let's make some history today as well. And hashtag double tap for democracy.